The Cat in the Hat bookshelf. Step number 1. As starters, I laid out the outer limits of the bookshelf on the half-inch plywood. I set the curves to be as smooth and flowing as possible to prevent strong bends on the side walls. For the ease of cutting, I then cut the outer dimensions out with the circular saw. Then I will fine-tune the shape with the jigsaw. Using the jigsaw, I shape the back wall to the desired shape of the bookshelf. Then I take the sander to give all the edges to the most rounding I can. I want to limit the stress on the curves as much. The next step. Here, I decide how many shelves I want. I space them out as desired. With this bookshelf having an abstract design, much of this is just eyeballing it how you want the project to look. I then measure the width of the shelves. I use the leftover half-inch plywood from the backboard for the shelves. I cut strips the depth I want the shelves to be. Using the freshly cut plywood for the shelves, I cut them down to width. Next, I examine the shelves and to get the edges angled the same as the curve. Once the shelves are measured and shaped, I installed the shelves. I marked the placement of the shelves with a line on the back of the back wall. Glue, screw it and forget it. This step is repeated for the top, bottom, and each of the shelves. At this point in the process, the shelf has the back and the shelves without sidewalls. Default text note. Using a 1/4-inch piece of plywood, I make strips that are the same depth as the shelves, plus the half-inch back piece of plywood. These strips are going to be doubled up on each side and laminated together to make the sidewalls a half-inch thing too, just like the back wall. Prior to curving the plywood, I wet both sides to make it more pliable. The first piece of 1/4-inch plywood is secured to the shelves and the back wall with screws. This will give a good support for the second layer of plywood, and it will allow the screws to hide as they are sandwiched between the sheets of plywood. This step is repeated on the other side, but much faster to save time. After the plywood is secured, I cut off the excess on the tops and bottoms. To prevent trapping water in between the layers of plywood, I allow the first layer to dry. Then I place a hefty amount of glue and laminate the second layer on top. With as many clamps you can muster up, secure the two pieces together. Then once clamped up, I remove the excess from the second layer and allow the wood to dry. Then, I cover all the screw holes with wood filler. I use the back wall to give me the curves for the front. I trace the curves on the leftover half-inch plywood and then cut along the lines with a jigsaw, much like the original cuts on the back wall. This step is then repeated for the other side wall. The front pieces are then secured with glue and screws. The screw holes are then covered with wood filler again. Then each of the front boards for the shelves are cut and attached in the same way as the side. After the pieces are attached, we will be sanding. After that, just force your child to paint.
It's me.
This Cat in the Hat bookshelf is 5 feet tall, with shelves ranging from 18 inches to 22 inches. The depth of the shelf is 15 inches. Build time, including camera relocations, was around for hours.